Guys, you are thinking about moving to Austin, Texas, somewhere in the Texas Hill Country, one of the suburbs. You found the right video and the right YouTube channel, Chris Peshek, broker associate at Peshek Properties, and a friend of mine, Alicia Autry, and a friend of Donna's, came up with this series for me when we're doing the pros and cons of the different suburbs that I deal with. So this is Bar Talk. We are sitting in the dugout on FM 150 between Driftwood and Dripping Springs, Texas, USA. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Dripping Springs, Texas. Now, I'm here with very special guests, and I've known these two ladies forever. I mean, what, 30 minutes?
Wait, 31 minutes.
31 minutes and about 4 hours. So this is going to be a completely candid look at the pros and cons of Dripping Springs. Donna Slack of TikTok and Instagram fame, right? That's what you said, right? You're kind of a thing.
I'm kind of a big deal. No, I'm not.
Yes, Donna, tell us a little bit about what you do. And hey, I mean, shout out to your channels.
Yeah. So should I talk here or here?
Here, well, we're talking to have conversation, but there's people there. Okay. I mean, yeah.
So I own a clothing boutique, and I sell and do kind of influencer videos on TikTok and on Instagram. I take my TikTok videos and then I repost them on Instagram.
There you go.
And on Facebook. But mostly I live stream on TikTok and I sell clothes, and yeah, and that's all I do. And I've only been doing it for 1 year. I just started this year.
Okay.
And so before that I was just in corporate America, and I've only been doing this 1 year.
And so now you're living your best life.
Now, living my best life, I'd call myself a little TikTok famous.
I mean, I've never met an actual influencer, and she's as cool as it seems. I mean, she really is. Yeah, that you breathe a little lighter when I got here. It's like, oh, I'm in the aura of somebody important here. It's pretty awesome. And we are also here. Oh, come on. Also, the owner of the dugout, Orit Man. Orit, tell us a little bit. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Perfect.
Thank God. Like I said, I've known her for about 5 hours now. At Dripping Springs Chamber of Commerce.
That's right.
All right. That's right. Small businesses, you got to be a chamber member here. Orit, tell us about the Driftwood Dugout. You know what? Give us a little bit of history.
So, the dugout was previously here with the previous owners. They put up for sale. It closed down for 3 months, and then we rebranded it, and now we're going to make it the Driftwood Axe House and Sports Bar because we want to get rid of the dugout name. We have a full Axe House. Donna's son is the manager.
Axe House manager.
Axe House manager, apparently. Love him, Connor.
It's a self-proclaimed title.
That's the best part.
We're going to keep it. Again, you have to put it out there, right? We'll keep it. And the bar, we thought initially the bar would be the big deal and the Axe House would be an addition, but it's more about people coming to the Axe House and just having drinks. But we'll full liquor. Okay. Love to do parties, and
I'm sure there's a limit on the drinks you can have before throwing axes.
I mean, you're signing a waiver.
Whatever.
The thing that's important about this, guys, is Donna, you're the old Dripping Springs hat here. You've been here for 13 years, right?
OG, 13 years.
Okay. Yes. And where did you come from prior to Drip?
I lived in Circle C.
Southwest Austin.
Yes.
Traveled far.
There you go.
Real far away to get here.
Yeah, it took a long road to get here.
Yes.
I've been here for 7 years. And Orit, you've been here for...
So, ironically, since July 4th, we crossed the border into Texas because my husband's like, that's our Independence Day.
So 2 years. 2 years.
2.5 years.
Okay, okay. Nice. And she's got an accent.
Jersey.
Okay, so Texas Dripping Springs by way of Jersey. And again, we're going to talk about the pros and cons here. And I think it's important to have different views on this. And that's the whole point behind this series. So
we're going to fight. We're going to do a little fighting.
Go for it.
That's right.
Bring it on.
So I came up with a little bit of a list of pros and cons, talk to you two guys about what y'all's thoughts were on that. And we're going to jump into it. We're going to start out with pros here. Dripping Springs, I'm going to get my old man glasses on, and we're going to roll. My first pro on this was hey, we've got good proximity to Austin. Downtown Dripping Springs to downtown Austin is about 40 minutes. It's about 40 minutes to the airport from downtown. So proximity, I think, is a pretty nice pro. What do y'all think about this?
I'd say it could be a pro and a con.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. But I would definitely say it's a pro. It's close enough if you have to go there.
Okay.
Right.
But then but some people may say it's a little bit, too far away. But for me, I think it's like close
It's
enough
perfect.
if I need it.
Yeah,
if I
it's
need
perfect.
to get there, it's there. If I've got a city, like it's good enough to get there, right?
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier you don't necessarily.
I never go there.
I don't
Right. You
either.
don't access.
I
It's
don't
there.
ever go there. It's there, but truthfully, like everything here
Yep.
in Dripping Springs is like, I've got everything I need. I've got like a HEB. I got a
That's a
Home
grocery store for you out of state
Home
people.
Depot.
Yeah.
I got a Walgreens.
Yep.
I mean, I got the dugout
You
here.
got the dugout.
I got the dugout. I got bars,
There's
wineries.
bars, there's breweries, there's wineries. They're
There's things
wedding
to do.
capital
There's
of Texas.
restaurants to go to. Like, I rarely find myself ever. I work from home, so I rarely find myself ever having to go into Austin.
Right.
I do ship a lot of things via Amazon.
Okay.
So I'm giving my money to them versus Walmart or Target, and I'm okay with that, because
Me
I
too.
can get it quicker and it's more convenient.
Than you
And
driving into
if I
town,
go
right?
to Walmart, I'm going to spend a lot of money, and things I don't need. If I get it on Amazon, I only get what I need.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Walmart or a Target since I left New Jersey. 2.5 years. No need.
That's amazing.
I
No
did.
need.
I did go to a Walmart. I did go to Walmart the other day, and I got recognized 3 times. And I was like, "This is where my people hang out." These are my people. I was like, "I'm gonna take everybody to Walmart. These are my people here at Walmart."
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Donna Slack t-shirt.
That's right. Yeah. I'll sport it. This is a local business. I'll wear the t-shirt.
And I was like,
So-
but literally, I hadn't been recognized in like a year anywhere. But then I go to Walmart, and I'm like,
Can't take her anywhere.
That's right.
That's another reason why I like to stay in Dripping Springs.
Nobody recognizes
Nobody
you.
no.
No, that's not true.
All right, let's roll on to pro number 2. And this is what you were just alluding to a little bit ago. We've got a small town feel here. It's like Dripping Springs it's a pretty big city, even though the population is only like 1,700 people. You add in Belterra and
bigger.
Headwaters and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big area. This is a 6A high school in Texas, which is the biggest high
It
school.
is.
So it's a big area, but it still feels like a small town. And I immediately brought up local businesses, and that was one of the things. So let's talk a little bit about small town feel, local businesses. Obviously, local business owner. How does that ring? Is that a pro for you?
It's definitely a pro. But what I love is, so I met Donna here, actually. Her son's baseball team was here. And I love the idea of employing her son. And I love the idea that she introduced me to all of her friends that all have local shops, and we support each other. And I love that. I love going to, if you're going to go get a coffee, you go to Root Line, or if you're going to go get brunch or breakfast or something, you go to Time and Dough, and you see the locals, and you do see people everywhere. You go to HEB and see people, see Donna Slack, or you see somebody I actually ran into her at Circle K when I went to,
That's right.
I was just going to get
Into
my
somebody at
coffee
Circle K.
before
We
coming
took
to
a
work.
selfie.
I'm like, oh my God, there's Donna. So yeah, you get to see people, and when you go to HEB, the people that are like bagging your groceries, and you see the same people. It's so sweet.
Same. I love that.
I
about
love
that.
that.
I love that. I love that. Like, my neighbors work at HEB,
Yep.
and the kids on Connor's baseball team work at HEB, and they're like, "Hi, Mrs. Slack, do you want me to bring out your groceries?" And I like that feeling to me. Like, I feel like that is like small town feel. My son plays on the varsity baseball team for the Tigers. What? Go Tigers!
Yeah.
And so, like, last night, we had our second district game. We're
Right.
6A, so we're playing in the 6A Big Dogs. This is only our second year to be in 6A. And we won, just so you
Nice,
know.
nice.
We run-rolled them.
Wait, who'd you
Austin
play?
High,
Oh,
Austin
nice.
High,
Beating the
run-rolled.
Maroons, yeah.
We beat the Maroons. We run-rolled. And my son,
I
oh my
saw
God.
that.
Did you see it?
He posted it
He
on
had
his Instagram. I follow her son on Instagram. He works for me. It's okay.
Okay.
He had like, I mean, he's not a starter,
Right.
but we were like, up 9-1, and so they put him in, and he like hit it. I mean, it was almost over the fence, and everybody was cheering. We do this loud like tiger roar. I'm the DJ, and I'm the announcer. I mean, it's just like little town. We've got like this.
This is a small town
You get
thing.
excited for your
Those are the
kids.
small town
Yeah.
things that you love about it. It's
Yeah.
like you do this tiger roar and everybody goes "Grrr!" and like those are the things that you're just like, yes, that like it feels good.
Yep.
Like it feels good whenever everybody's just supporting everybody.
And our kids do
and-
support each other. That's
Yeah.
the other thing.
and everybody's
I love that.
grandparents come to the thing. That's
Yeah.
another. My parents don't live here. My husband's parents don't live here. But when other people's grandparents come to the games and they're like, "Go get a good one!" Blah, blah, blah," and they're just like yelling out, like it makes me feel so like small town like love. Like I feel that love of everybody's grandparents, like being in the same town, and they grew up here, and they went to high school here, and their parents went to high school. Like I love that feeling.
Yeah.
That feels good, And I love being the DJ. I love being the DJ at the game. Like that's the small town feel where you have somebody's grandpa that's the announcer, and
Yep.
you're the DJ, and it's just fun.
That's amazing. I'm gonna need to take in some baseball games.
Oh my gosh, there's one on Thursday. You should.
Okay. All right. You shouted out Root Line and Time and Dough. Talking about local businesses. What are a couple of your favorite local businesses? Not the Dugout. We understand the Dugout.
Well, Time and Dough, I love.
Okay.
One of our friends owns Time and Dough. Her name is Fabian.
Yep.
I also, I love the Mercer Street Art and Boutique on Mercer Street.
Okay.
I like Grolix a lot. I like the Dugout a lot.
Like the Dugout.
I love 12 Fox.
Yeah.
I do
Joe
love
and Stacy are
12
amazing.
does everything for veterans,
Yep.
and you got to give him credit for that.
Absolutely.
He's my
Yes,
Fire Night
I
Cats.
agree. The veterans
Yeah.
is a big deal.
He's a great guy.
Sonder is a coffee shop that just opened
Yes,
up.
Matt.
over
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
Matt.
It is the coolest coffee shop.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It is in this red barn house, kind of like all out in the middle of nowhere.
And
You
he
gotta
lives
drive all the way out there.
On property.
Oh, cool.
But it's the coolest thing, like what Sonder means. And they had this typewriter, and they had like this paper where they had typed in what Sonder meant. And Sonder meant just to like walk around and find things that are super amazing that you really like, and you start to connect to, and then you find people that you love that are connecting to the same things, and that's to Sonder. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. But I love it, and it's like there's couches everywhere, and everybody was just sitting there. It was pouring down rain when we were there.
Oh.
Some people had their dogs in there. They were making homemade tacos. Like, I felt like I just loved it. It
Felt
made
like
me-
going home.
It felt like somebody's house.
Yeah.
It felt like somebody's home.
It's built
And
that way.
we're just it is like a home,
That's
and it feels like you're just in someone's home in their living room having coffee with them. And I love that. And I love how everything is so unique. Like it is unique,
And that's why I like this town. So I went there by accident. I went there because it's about 10 minutes from here. And then that night, because I met Matt, he came here. And then I introduced him to Donna and other people. I'm like, we'll all support each other. And I
Again,
think
that's
that's the
small
most
businesses.
important
And then
part.
he came to the poker night.
Yes.
She had a poker night here, and we played poker. He had no idea what he was doing.
But he's like, I'm just here to drink bourbon and support local. And I was
But
like,
then
that's
I was like,
exactly it.
whenever a friend asked me to go have coffee, I said, let's go to Sonder
Yeah.
because it's this local guy.
Yeah.
Let's go visit him. And so then we went to his coffee shop, and it was just
Yeah.
amazing. Now I've been telling everybody about Sonder, and I've told about 20 people what Sonder meant because I didn't even know before.
And I'm gonna take off on that and segue into, you also mentioned about how, again, small town, the services and trust and stuff like that. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I feel that like, okay, and it could be a positive or a negative sometimes too. I do feel, and maybe this is a segue, but sometimes I do feel things are a little bit more expensive. But I also feel that I don't mind paying a little bit more because I trust these people, because I know these people, because these people are my neighbors, because they come and shop at my business, because we all support each other. And so maybe I pay a little bit more for my electrician or my plumber or my contractor or my coffee, but I would rather pay more for it than go to Starbucks
Yes.
or any of those things. I trust
a
these people. I
huge-
know it is going to go to their kids' baseball, and they're playing baseball with my kid, and it like all goes around, and they're going to come support my small business. They're going to come support your small business, and everybody just kind of helps each other out and supports each other. And I think that is like That's another benefit of our small town feel is you know each other.
Huge benefit.
I never had that when I lived in Austin. And no offense to Austin. I did like living there.
Well, I didn't
right?
have that in New Jersey.
All you people that are moving to Austin, it's fine. Y'all can
Yeah.
move there. But I'm just saying, I'm like the small town feel and the vibe and the services, like you just trust them.
Yeah.
You trust these people. And it's like, you know, like Tejas Electric, right? I think it's Wade.
Yep.
Right? Wade owns Tejas Electric. I just saw him the other day. He was at a golf tournament that I was helping run for my son's baseball team. And we used him as our electrician. And you trust him. You trust him. His kid's been on your baseball team.
Yeah.
You're like, they're not going to do you wrong.
That's exactly right.
Go to church with you.
They've got to see you at church and at baseball and everything else. They're not going to screw you
They have
over.
a reputation to.
That's right.
uphold.
And I do believe you're right. You're not basically looking for the bargain. It's not like, all right, well, I can get this for this price. Because I know for me, even in New Jersey, I had 2 businesses for 17 years, and I would be competing with other places. And I'm like, I give you a personal touch. And when you buy from me, the same with Donna. Like, you're helping put my kid through a dance class. You're helping my kid pay for their welding project. You're helping. So what goes around comes around, and I think that's what we all try to do here.
Totally.
I don't think you can get by with that in New Jersey. Like even having my business, I would really thank my clients and be like, "You are helping my kids by me putting my kids through dance class." I'm like, "Whatever, it's not a big deal."
Same thing, right?
They don't care.
When you're in a bigger town, it's less. That's less important,
Yeah.
and I think those values are more important in a small town.
And another note, my husband just bought a half a cow, and he was so proud of himself.
That's awesome.
It's getting
a life now.
Well, it's getting
Probably
smaller,
still growing.
But the first thing I was like, you know, you don't think like, okay, so how much am I paying at HEB and how much? And it was like the guy is going back and forth with him, telling him how he'll work with him and give him certain cuts of meats. And you know what? I'll throw this in. And my husband's like, oh, you know, we're going to help support his family. And you love that idea of like, I just help supported somebody's family.
That's right.
If I pay $2 more or $3 more a pound, but I help them.
Exactly. Who cares?
And it's better meat. I mean,
it's local. You're keeping the money local. And there's something to be said about, you know, somebody can go buy a beer for $3 and drink it in the house, but you can come here and have it for $5 with me, and you can have that conversation. And you are helping support my kids, and it goes around.
I say the same thing all the time on TikTok, and I know it's a bigger like people that I'm saying it to, but I always say, listen, like my clothes are probably a little bit more expensive than clothes. You could probably buy a similar jacket or similar blazer, and you're going to get it from China and all of these things, except for me, you know, like you're supporting a small business and you're supporting me and you know who I am and you trust me and all of these things. And so it is like about trust.
Grateful. A lot of gratitude. Yeah.
It's quality and service and trust.
And this is why Alicia's amazing for coming up with this idea, because I don't even have anything to add. Y'all nailed it.
I feel like we're really passionate about these things.
Well, and you are, and that's the whole point. Like the different suburbs, and that's the reason I'm doing this. You know, Alicia is really, really passionate about Wimberley, right? You know, she lives there.
We're making everybody want to move here.
Well, fair. But you guys live here. We're getting there. We're getting there. Speaking of small businesses, we are known as drinking springs. We've got 13 breweries or 11 breweries and a ton of wineries and distilleries. And I mean, you can open your door and find something to drink in this town.
It's true.
Let's just talk about a couple of our favorites. You already mentioned 12 Fox. So breweries, distilleries, wineries, give me a couple of favorites here.
Twisted X, I can walk to
Yeah.
So I've walked there many, many times, which is a definite perk for me.
Especially because one of the cons is lack of Uber. Go ahead.
Right. Exactly. I would say that Sidecar. I really love Sidecar.
Sidecar's great.
Club.
Bell Springs Winery and Brewery. Yep.
Yeah, there's that Summer Revival.
Yep, the wine.
I love that, and they have great food too.
Yes, they do.
Great food, great drinks. I love the food. The food is really good.
Really
yeah.
Food draws people in more than anything around.
Bell Springs Winery is really good. And the other thing that's really awesome is Driftwood Winery.
Yeah.
Driftwood Winery is really good. And I think that the fact that we're really close to, like, I feel like it's a hub, right? We're in Dripping Springs, but we're real close to Driftwood. We're real close to Johnson City. We're real close to Fredericksburg. We're real close to Wimberley. We're real close to all of these things. And so it's kind of like a hub where there's all of these other places that you can go drink at too. like Shady Llama. It's like in between
I've
here.
never been there, but I've heard
Oh
of
my
it.
God,
fun.
I could go there every day. I love it. It's the
Never
best
been there.
sunsets in the world.
It is.
The best. People just go. I made out. I mean, you could go. I made out with somebody there, my husband. But yeah,
I was gonna say, does Chris know? Does Chris know?
Nice.
Telling Chris.
All right. Some of your favorites.
Once I find something I like, I stick with it, and it has to be 12 bucks. Only because,
I do
and
love
it's just
Showbox.
because
I like
of
Joe.
what drives the business.
What they do.
That's all I care about. To me, your passion is what drives me to
Veteran
do.
owned, and they take care of veterans.
That's all I care about. So to me, it's about your passion, what drives you, and just meeting Joe and just knowing why he's doing it. That's like what drives me. If I was chasing money, trust me, I wouldn't be doing this. It's you have to find what your goals are. So I will do anything to support them. They have gummies, truck, the crawfish, a great. I love the cause, so I would go there any day just to support them.
That's awesome.
And Gummies, the barbecue truck there,
Gummies.
also does barbecue at the baseball games too.
Sure does, really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
like
it's
it.
awesome because you could also get Gummies barbecue there. I feel like everybody is just connected in some way. Another like small town feel vibe
Well, it's
benefit.
the reason I met you and I met you now is because you know people and people know people, and you know it's people that you're comfortable with. And
So it's really funny. I'll tell you this. I actually reached out to Joe and I was like, hey, I'm looking to expand and I need a mentor. And he's like, let's meet for lunch. And we actually went to, I was like, let's go to Time and Dough. I know the owner. And it's like, again, because you want to, but again, it's just like, it's not, there's no competition. It's like, how can I help you? I'm like, how can I help you? And people just really want to help each other. There's no competition.
Yeah.
And if they are, I kind of sense that right away with somebody and I just don't want to be a part of it.
agree.
I cut that very quickly out of my life.
I agree. And I think that's a thing. It's like when there's a business that's moving in next to you, instead, I think that people recognize that they being like successful helps everybody. Right? Versus if they're successful, it takes away from my success. And I feel like everybody has that same opinion, right? It's like your success is it benefits me, right? And your success benefits me. And we all kind of want each other to be successful. Not like if you're successful, then there's not enough success to go around for everybody.
And it also gives me hope when I see people like Donna and I talk and she's telling me about like her goals. I just get so excited. We just had this conversation a few days ago and it just excites me because it's out there. It's like, how can I help her succeed? What can I do? Like even this, she's like, will you open up the bar? Of course. Like, oh, I want to see it. I want to see you succeed. I want to be a part of it. I want to be your cheerleader. Like you want that in life because what's better than knowing that you can help like push someone to their excellence.
And thank y'all because y'all don't know this, but the dugout is not open right now. She is not normally here at this time, but because your son works here, you love this place. Talk to you. Yep, we'll open it just for you guys, just for this video. And that's not happening in Austin, Texas.
No, for sure.
Well, maybe it does. I've never seen it happen.
No.
So.
Yeah, I feel like that's the other thing that we're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to be here and figure out like, what was my line? I'm like, I pay rent, so you might as well use it. I'm like, what's the point?
When I was looking for a space to work out of or stream out of, I said, hey, do you have any space in the dugout that I could stream out of? And I'm willing to pay for space. And she's like, no, I already pay the rent. If I have extra space, you can just stream there. And I was like, no, I mean, but it's like, I lived in Austin for 10 years before I lived here, right? I didn't know the business owners. I can't tell you one single business owner that I knew at any business. None. Which is different. Right?
I know one in Austin because I grew up with him.
Yeah, but I can't tell you any business owners right now. I don't know any business owners. I don't know any restaurant owners. I don't know any bar owners. But the people that are here in there, they work there.
They work.
That's right. You come in here.
Right.
You're going to meet Rita.
I'm here.
Right? The owners of the business are in the business. Like the owners of the boutiques are in the boutiques. Like they are there. And I think that's something that's a real different. You know the people. They live here. Their kids go to school with your kids.
And I'm going to use that to segue into kind of the other thing. And you mentioned this, and I don't mind talking about this on my YouTube channel because people find the people that they're supposed to be with, right? You mentioned, and I think it goes directly along with that, is there's a general overriding set of conservative values in Dripping Springs.
Definitely.
And again, if those values don't exist, I don't think this conversation that we're having happens. And I don't put it out there as a political thing or whatever, but just overall, it's people wanting to help people, people knowing right from wrong and trying to help people do the right thing. So,
Believing in small business,
yep,
I think, is a conservative value. I mean, I hate to say going to church on Sundays.
don't hate to say that.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
No, I
not
get it.
everybody goes to church on Sundays. I
Right.
get it, and everybody has their right to whatever they want to
Yeah.
do. But that is a conservative value that I believe in, and I feel that you feel good about it. I feel good when somebody says they go to church on Sunday. Like, I feel good about it. I feel good that there's a lot of churches around here.
There's hope.
But I think that
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people sometimes have that negative connotation.
That's true.
If it's not a conservative value, right? And I mean, I don't have that way, but I feel that most people that live here share in that same feeling.
Yep.
Right? They share in that same value, or that we used to go to church together, or we go to church on Sundays together, or your kids are in Young Life together,
Yep.
or any of those things. I feel like you share in those values together. And I do like that. I like that no one's upset that we have a gun in our house. I
Right.
feel like nobody's upset that there's a gun range down the street from our house. And nobody gets mad that we can hear the shooting going on.
Right.
So I'll give you a totally different perspective coming from New Jersey, and I can really blow your mind. So we're Jewish. Didn't raise my kids with like, you have to go to temple. They never went to temple. Didn't get bar mitzvah. We come here, and I think the greatest thing was my son. It was a senior, so threw him on the football team, and they would pray before each.
I love it.
Day, and I still love. I tell you, and I get goosebumps.
Dude, she's got goosebumps right now.
It would make
Love
me
it.
so happy, and I would see him pray with everybody. And my daughter, who's a senior now, she's been going with Morgan, one of the girls that works for me, and her friend Amanda. She joined like their Bible study, and she
Is that
goes
right?
because she goes, you know what? They're good girls and they have good values, and I'm like, go. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn about spirituality. You're gonna learn about God. You're gonna learn about religion, and I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't raise my kids with like my one way is right. And
I think that's awesome.
so I was like, because they're probably going to marry somebody who's Catholic or Christian, and I want them to love and accept them and bring their religion into my world, and I will definitely adapt.
And I
I love the praying.
I love the
at
praying
the football
before.
games. And I know there's supposed to be like no church in school.
Oh no, I love it.
But I think that the coaches are very like
Grounded.
well, I think that they give the option to say, "Hey, this is something
Yeah,
we're
if it's
gonna
something you
do,"
don't
and
wanna
if
be
you
a
don't
part
want
of.
to be a part of it, you
Yeah.
don't have to be a part of it. But I never
I
see
love
like
it.
at the end of the baseball games, and they are all in the huddle and they're praying. Nobody ever leaves.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever leaves, and I love it. And the parents still watch, and everybody takes pictures of it, and it's like you can tell that the values of the community are right there, and it makes you feel real good.
There's such respect in this community.
I was just gonna say a similar thing. Yeah.
And my one thing is I live somewhere, and every morning when I wake up, the first two things I see an American flag, and in New Jersey there's no flag, and you see the Texas flag, and I have such respect and admiration for the two. And that's really key to me. Like, that's why I brought my kids here, because you have to respect your country, your veterans, the people that fight for you. And Texas is so proud of being Texas.
Yes.
That's what I love. Like, I love everything about that.
Yep.
You have to support your veterans. You have to support people that fight for the rights of this country. We were seen as crazy people because we had guns in New Jersey. They're like, what are you, crazy? And I'm like, no, it's our constitutional right.
Right.
So I love that here. I love that people carry. I mean, there's freedom.
Nobody looks at you weird.
No.
Nobody judges. You don't ever feel judged by it.
I love it.
And I love it. I do love it. I mean, I don't judge other people for having their own views or whatever, but you never feel like you never hear and you feel like you're going to be judged for saying like, I got my gun in the car,
Yeah.
or I got my gun right here. What you're just never judged, and I feel that like I don't want to say it feels safer
I
because
feel safer.
of it, but
I feel safer.
Okay.
I do.
you do.
And that's interesting coming
Absolutely.
from
I
Jersey
don't know
that
if
you would
it's
say that.
because people
Absolutely.
carry or have a gun that I feel safer, or just I think the community and the city I feel safer from.
Overall, I think
Yeah.
I feel safer.
One of the other pros that I wrote down was safety. So
Absolutely.
keep going.
Because, like in New Jersey, nobody's allowed to carry, and people aren't carrying. And okay, God forbid something happens in school, the next person probably has a gun. And like, it's
Like Chicago. I don't
Yeah.
think you're allowed to carry there, but
Nope.
look how safe it is.
yeah, exactly my point. So listen, I don't mind getting political and stuff, but people that are going to break the rules and break the law, they're going to do it regardless of the rules.
That's right.
So you
the
might as well be able to protect yourself.
Right. In New Jersey, we went through everything to get our guns. So if we have a gun and we're being told we can't protect ourselves, that's crazy because you have constitutional rights. But here it's like, and there's also that FAFO. If you're gonna go and try to do something, you don't know what's coming your way in
That's
Texas,
right.
and I kind of love that. Like, you don't know who's carrying. The person at the HEB right next to you, and it's the women carrying that I love. Like,
Yep.
it's great.
I know a lot of women that carry.
Well, one of the first things we did when we came here is we took our kids shooting, and my daughter's a pretty good shot.
Nice. FAFO.
It's fine.
Wait,
never
what's
know.
AFO?
Fuck around, find out.
There you
Oh,
go.
Oh my gosh. This is awesome. This is freaking amazing. By the way, guys, I look, if you're still with us at this point, you need to just subscribe to the channel because this is the content that I bring you. And I
watch
love
Donna.
this.
Watch
Watch Donna. What's your TikTok channel?
Elsime, ELSSIME.
One more time.
ELSSIME.
There you go. Yeah, and go buy some clothes. And guys, wait, because she's gonna bring a guy's line out.
Men's line and plus size line
It's coming
coming
up.
soon.
Coming. All right, let's go. And I'm going to kind of put a couple of pros together here. We don't have major stores. And I know, look, guys, if you are on Facebook, Dripping Springs Neighbors, you're going to see constant complaining that we need a Target, we need a Trader Joe's, we need a this, we need a Walmart, we need... This is a pro for me that we don't have this. I moved here from Austin for a reason. They happen to agree with me, I think.
I agree-ish.
I
Okay.
love Donna's point of view. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, right?
I'm very...
Donna's very like even. She just doesn't judge. She's the most humble, sweet person. She's like, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm like, you're an idiot, but you're entitled to
That's
your
her version.
opinion.
That's her version of bless your heart.
I know. I'm from Jersey. Like, what's your problem? You're so stupid. Why'd you move here? I'm like, I'm just straight out. And Donna's like, my balance. Calm down. That's why I love her, to be honest. But yeah, nothing gets her going. And
I'm
she,
get
I'm
real
like,
riled up.
and
Just
she's
everybody's
right.
allowed to have
everyone's
their own
allowed to be an
opinion.
idiot. No, but everyone's
No.
entitled to their opinion. But the reason I did move here, hey, if you want to drive to Target, drive 35 minutes, drive 40 minutes. We don't need it here. I feel like that's why we moved here. Again, if you want more clothing shops, shop at places like hers. Go to Mercer
Go to
Art.
Stars, goes to Mercer.
Right. Go
Yeah.
to places that you know are local, and these people are making an effort to put something in the community. So support them. That's the whole idea. Trader Joe's, no. Go to like
Go to the farmer's market. Go to Lone Star Market.
I love all these.
Buy your beef from a local farmer, like we just did.
Yeah.
Like, do
Shout out to Randy at Bucker Creek Ranch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Again, so that's the whole idea of being in a small town. And Donna's right. You are entitled to your opinion, but I didn't move here for the Trader Joe's. I
Right.
didn't move here for the Target. I don't need that. I don't
because
want that
it
anymore.
wasn't here is why I moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved here and there wasn't a lot of stuff here. I mean,
Yeah, you're
I'm an OG. I've been here not that long. I've been here a long time, and there wasn't that much here. And so, there was nothing on Mercer. I mean, there was like the feed store.
the feed stores, Rippy's.
Feed store was there. There was a dripping ice cream store
Yep.
a long time ago. It was it was where the station is now. Where Scott, Scott, he owns the
Yep.
station. And it was like a little ice cream store. And my thoughts are is that I don't want if there's a vote and I'm voting on Target or Walmart coming into town, I'm going to vote against it. But if everybody agrees and the town consensus says, yes, we want it here, I'm probably going to shop there.
Fair.
I'm not going to boycott it or anything. I'm still going to go there. I'm not a dummy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still going to go there, but I wouldn't want it to be there.
Yeah.
But
But if it
if
was,
it's here, I understand growth. I understand convenience. I also understand that, we'll probably talk about it a little bit.
Mhm.
Cost and
Yep.
price
Yeah.
is a big one. And just because I live in a nice neighborhood and you live in a nice neighborhood and everybody lives in a nice neighborhood doesn't mean that everybody in Dripping Springs can afford. There's a lot of people that have been here for a very long time that maybe cannot afford the rise of cost of things. And so
Yeah.
I understand that maybe it would be more cost effective to have a Walmart here for them. And I understand that and I get it. And, there's a benefit and a perk. And I also understand that those could bring in jobs for the community as well too.
right.
And that's a benefit as well too. Do I want it? I don't want it. I don't want to look at it. I don't like the eyesore of it. I don't want to bring in that big time feel of a city, but I have seen cities in the past that are small towns and have had a Walmart.
Yeah, every county seat in Texas.
Right.
Yep.
And so, I can see a positive and a negative for it.
I also would want to challenge people. It's really easy to go, you know what we need? So
They always say,
yeah, you know what we need?
we do
So,
have a Chipotle though. And
yeah,
I do like
and
it.
Donna
And a
practices
Popeyes.
that, and my
and a
son
Popeyes.
loves it.
I mean,
But
I like it.
I like challenging people. My husband always challenges me. So, like, when he wanted, like, a sports bar, because in New Jersey, we would go to the sports bar on Sunday and watch the games with my son. And he was like, you know, it would be great to add to the community and access. So instead of telling people, you know what this town needs, what we need to do is bring it to the town. So if you have an idea, back it up.
Do it.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't just tell me what you think this town needs. Go ahead and do it. Don't just talk the talk. Like, literally
Right.
put your heart and soul into something and make it happen.
Are there
That's
asking,
my thing.
are you asking if we're open?
We've got people rolling up hot here. All right. So on that note, let's switch to cons, and let's go exactly with what you just mentioned,
Okay.
which is
Cost of living.
the cost of living in Drip is not cheap. Like, you cannot. It is almost impossible to find a house under $400,000. Hell, under 500's tough.
I was going to say under $1 million.
Well, you did. Yeah.
I'm not a realtor though, so
But the cost of living, and you mentioned services. So you're right. It is not a cheap place to live.
it is not a cheap place to live, and I think like Driftwood specifically is really
A lot more expensive.
And it is. So everybody can't afford to live here.
Right.
You can't. But I would say the reason that the positives outweigh the negatives is probably why it's more expensive.
People
And
want, and
people
they're
want-
willing to pay more.
I'm willing to pay more. I'm willing to pay more to live here. I'm willing to pay more for the services, like
Right.
we talked about
Yeah.
earlier. Like, I'm willing to pay more to Wade for his services
Yep.
that I am going to pay for somebody else that I don't know because
Right.
I trust him. So I'm willing to pay more because it goes into the community.
That's right.
I'm willing to pay more for my what's that? What propane?
Your propane, yeah, your
Propane.
propane's more expensive
I'm
here. It
willing
is.
to pay more.
So
I was like,
con
what's
being
that-
a
what's that
cost of
stuff
living.
called?
Cost of living.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I'm willing to pay more for it.
And I didn't even mention one of the biggest reasons people move here. I believe you said you moved here was because of the great school district.
The school
And again,
district.
people are willing to pay more to get their kids into a school that more aligns with their
Absolutely.
mentality, with their
their values,
values. Yep.
their because they want their gosh, and I do hate sometimes putting things in a conservative values type of situation, but just for me personally, right, we're having this discussion, that is why we moved here. We wanted our son to grow up with more conservative values in school.
Yeah.
And I knew that the schools here aligned more to that versus where we were in Austin. And so that was important. I was willing to pay more for that. I was willing to pay more for my house for that reason. And it was important to me. And so I guess if those things are important to you, you have to be willing to pay a little bit more money.
Yep.
But I think it outweighs it too, right? And so, like, people also, if you have a small business, know that somebody's also going to support your small business.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be there
Hopefully,
to
right?
help you.
Hopefully.
Right? Hopefully somebody is going to be there to lift you up as well too. I may pay more for my electricity or my electric services or my plumbing services or my clothes or whatever, my groceries, but I'm also going to have an uplift in my business as well too. And so hopefully that outweighs it. It is a little bit more, and I can understand that not everybody can afford that.
How did it compare to New Jersey?
So, same house, same taxes, crazy taxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the cost of living where I lived was the same as Dripping Springs.
Okay.
I have to be honest with you. And we moved here 100% because of the school district. Like we drove 38 hours, and the only choice was Liberty Hill or Dripping Springs.
Okay.
And my husband's like Dripping Springs because of the size of the school.
Yeah.
That was it.
Liberty Hill Rock.
And
Yep.
100%. The only reason we moved to Texas was freedom. I'm being honest. During COVID, the school system was 100%. Now I don't need the school system. My daughter will be done.
Right.
But I'm here because of the bar, or I would have probably moved.
I'm here for the bars.
For the bar.
For the booze. No. Or I would have moved. I would have literally sold my house and moved maybe towards Wimberley or more this way.
Okay.
Like not far, 15, 20 minutes,
Right,
because I
right.
love like the people I've met. But I don't need the school district, and it is very expensive. But I love the area and I love the values still. But I see that it's changing a lot lately.
That
A
is
lot.
another con that I can think of.
Go for
When
it.
I bring up another con. Okay, when I lived in Austin, I my son had gone to school for a few years, and I didn't do. I wasn't involved in the school at all. They didn't expect me to be involved in the school at all. Like, and I was just like, okay, like that's fine, whatever. Like y'all do your own thing. But then when I moved here, it was almost an expectation, and whether a at the time I thought it was a plus. But then after a while, it was kind of like, it's kind of like,
Okay.
oh, I have to do so
Worn out
much.
with
Like,
this.
I'm really having to do a lot for school right
full-time
now.
job now.
Yeah. And so you are more involved, but everybody else is more involved too. And so that could be a con, but it all could, I mean, depending on the age of your child.
Yes.
Right? Like right now, sometimes I'm like, I got other stuff going on, right? But like back in the day when I really just wanted to watch your child color and you just wanted to like, see if they knew how to make friends with people, you were just like
Yeah.
wanted to be in and you loved it. But I think it could be a con or a con. They really expect you
Parent
to
involvement.
be parent involved in school. And they didn't expect that in Austin as much.
As a former school teacher, I can tell you that's a huge pro, but I can see as a parent how that can be a negative.
The thing is that like for me, I've always had a job that's been very flexible for me, right? But I always think like even now, like we have baseball games in the middle of the day, and there's a lot of parents that can't make those
Right.
games, right?
Yeah.
And you're having to volunteer and do all these things, and parents can't do that all the time, and so I always feel a little bit bad for those parents
Yeah.
that don't have the flexibility that I specifically have to do that. And so it could be a plus or a negative depending on your career.
Right. Okay. That's
Yeah.
a freaking great one. Let's move on. We were saying how amazing it is that it's a small town. Okay. But we have small town issues. Like-
Sometimes.
We got the gossip. People are in your business.
I haven't found that.
You haven't.
Well, I have it buying the business, and people are like, the story of the dugout, and I'm like, I just stay out of it. Listen, I'm going to be 49. That's why I love Donna. Like, don't care. Doesn't involve me. Don't care. Don't
That's
need to hear it.
amazing.
Don't need to hear it. Don't care. And I hate the cliche of the older I get. You know right away. Like even when I moved here, and I don't want to say tried to be friends. I became friends with certain people. I met Donna right away. She's like pulling me into her group of women that are just fabulous is an understatement. Like just an understatement.
It's a group of businesswomen,
It's
right?
all like business women, and you're like, it's different than hey, let's go like just wine tasting or something.
Right.
Let's go hang
It's
out.
more than just like
We're supporting
women
each other.
that are like housewives and
Yeah.
moms that don't have much to do. But
And no offense to them, but I don't relate.
Supporting other women.
I don't relate. I relate when she's like, I'm so overloaded. I overextended myself. I'm like, I know. Like, what can I do? Like, in my brain, this is the stuff that I think about when she's like, I'm going away and this thing isn't working out for me next week. And I'm like, what can I do to help her? Like, can I take a call? Can I do something? Like, what can I do?
That's where my mind went a while ago.
Yeah, like even if I know I'm at capacity, like I always say this, my well is never empty. Even though it's
Right.
empty,
Yep.
I can always find more water to help another woman in need.
Water.
Warder.
Because it's going to come back with somebody like Donna, but you have to find those people. That's your tribe. Like,
Right.
I don't just want to hang out by the pool and be like, so, not that I don't want to just hang out by the pool, but there's something to be said about that when it's another woman, mother, who's working and pushing and helping others. And it's just, it's such a, and I see her struggles, and I hear when Chris was like, just get a job. And she's like, no, I got to try this. Like, it's so important to hear that because we all have that, but no
Yeah.
one talks about it unless
Right.
you're a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Like, nobody
You
talks
know
about
each
it.
other's struggles.
Yeah.
That's another thing. And I mean, maybe because we're women in the community, we know a lot of other women business owners. But for me, it seems like, gosh, everybody that owns a business brings a woman.
Yeah.
It really does seem like that.
It does seem like there's
Yeah.
so many women business owners that I don't know what
But
it is.
what's
about
the group? Is it the
It's
wow?
water, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's encouraged because we get it, because you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into that box. And you just said, like, my kids are 19 and 17, so I don't have the schools and having to deal with that stuff anymore. But I feel like there's something to be said about taking a chance. I would say my kids are watching, right? Like,
Yeah.
like the women that I hang out with, I always say this: if my daughter was watching it, she'd be proud. And I know, like, oh, Donna's amazing. Like, of course she'd be proud. She'd be like, I want to be around women like her. So it's you surround yourself with people that are better than you, that keep pushing,
that push you, and they support you, and they care about your success. They don't like the only time they're talking about you is when they're talking about you to promote you. Right.
That's amazing. And I don't need you to come to my bar. That's the other thing too. We talk about this. Yeah. Like, I don't need you to be like, I'll be there tomorrow because you're having free dance lessons. Yeah. And like, but she'll show up for poker night and she's playing, and then she's coming back here and like getting. My friend needs this drink. I'm getting this. Or she'll just be like, she'll walk over to me and there'll be like this list of orders because she walked around the table. I'm like, what are you doing? Sit down. And it's like, how can I help? What can we do? How can we help each? Or even if it's just a phone call, like we all have struggles, and it's not peachy, and there's a dark side, and there's that, it's
there we go. Okay.
There's that side. I mean, and I'm sure, and that's what I hate, that men probably don't have that outlet either. I see my husband have it. Like, you have to be there for each other. And it doesn't mean like just buying her product. It means being
there. One thing one thing that like resonates with me with Orit. We could just talk about each other all day. We love each other so much. But one thing that resonates with like women and like supporting each other is that there's a lot of little expectations, right? Okay. Like little expectations. You want people to succeed.
Yeah.
You really do. You want people to succeed at what they're doing. And I think that is like, you're just here trying to help make it better. And whether or not, like, whenever somebody comes in, whether or not they're from Texas or New Jersey or whatever, like whenever I see somebody that's come in from outside of town, I know what it could feel like to be an outsider, right? I know what it could feel like to not have any friends, and I know what it feels like to to start a new business and to be new. And I feel like everybody just like grabs a hold of people that are new versus like if you're in Austin, you're in a bigger town. Yeah, your kids got to be involved in sports in order to make friends. It's hard to make friends as an adult.
Because like you mentioned, everybody's always running and going.
Yes, it's hard to make friends as an adult in anywhere you are, right? Yep. But I feel like in Dripping Springs, it's a little bit easier. I feel like people like know you're new, and I'm going to bring you into my group, and I'm going to help you, and I care about you because I know what it feels like, and I have empathy for you, right? And I feel like in Austin, nobody could care less if I was new.
Yeah, so in New Jersey, I did have businesses in New Jersey, but I can tell you this: the people watching you aren't going to help you. They're just watching to see if you fail or succeed. And once you start succeeding, they're like, oh, I knew you could do it all along. Yeah. Here, it's different. I've had people come in when no one's here. Donna, and she was one of the first people that she was like, okay, so I'm not promising this, but she's like, I'd like to do karaoke. Done, got a karaoke machine, got the licensing right. She's like, she showed up, she brought friends, and like,
I hosted for like a month.
You're the DJ.
I was the host.
She's like, let me see what I could do. And then, but the other thing that I love is like, if I love you, I want to help your kids succeed. So It's kind of like, okay, your kids are an extension of you, right? So even if I'm having a bad day, if my son's having a good day, that brings me work. So like, literally, I watched your son's like Instagram post of like the hit, and I'm like, that's amazing. Like, and I just sent him a message. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, it brightens up your day because you want to be a part of that person's world, and you just know that. Like, I wasn't there last night for the game, but I saw her son succeed, and I know her like mama heart is happy, and he's happy, and like you want to cheer each other on. Yeah.
And that started out as a con, by the way. I just want to remind you.
But you got fire.
Dripping Springs is full of positive people. I'm just telling you.
Okay, there are. Okay, I mean, it's hard for me and Orit to talk about how that small town feel is real small towny, and everybody knows your business. I know that it happens because I've
choose not to.
I've heard other people, and they get involved in that drama. I don't do that. I don't hang out with people that get involved in other people's drama. And I think it's up to you, right? You can move to Dripping Springs. You can either be involved in that drama, and you can not have your own thing going on, and you could be involved in everybody else's jam, or you can create your own success. You can create your own life, and you can create your own things and not brush off like whatever else is going on.
And I hear it here. People will be like, oh, do you know this person? Oh, number one, everyone's got a past. Number two, there's like not even 3 sides to every story. There's 10 sides. And perception is everything. Like, the three of us can walk away from this and be like, that was great. And I'm like, oh, we should have talked about this. And Don was like, oh, we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
But perception is everything. So people can experience the same event and have a different perception.
Yeah.
We can go to the same party and somebody can be like, I did not have fun. I'd be like, I had a really good time. I felt comfortable.
Making your
Right?
own path.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing I realized. Like when I came into here, like God really does put people into your life for a reason, a season, a purpose. And I found a great group of people. But for me, it was like, I don't know if I outgrew them or they outgrew me or what, but it was so like, I have no distaste, but I'm just like, you move on in life. Like, right, next chapter,
Right.
bigger, better,
For
you
sure.
move on, zero regrets. And you're like, that served its purpose. Now what? Like, what can I build?
And that's a really good point, because there are definitely people in Dripping Springs that I'm not friends with anymore.
Right, and you've been here for a
Because-
while.
Yeah, I've been here for a while. You grow apart.
Yeah.
You know, things happen. And I think a lot of it has to do with your children.
A
too.
lot.
Your children grow apart, and then you grow apart.
Yep.
You know, like I have friends but I also have friends that I'm still friends with, and their kids are still not. I'm not friends with anybody anymore, and I'm still great.
You're still friends with them,
right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times you grow apart too, because your kids grow apart, and you make relationships because of your children, and you make relationships because of baseball games, and you're spending so much time with these
Right.
people, and you're volunteering at school, and you make friends with all these people, but you also lose those bonds sometimes as well too.
And I do look at it like a marriage. Like you just said, you hear the gossip, but it's literally a marriage. Like you can walk away and still co-parent, right? I've been with my husband 30 years, so I don't know. But you don't have to hate that person. You can move on and go, you know what? That served its purpose, and now we can still coexist. And I wish you the best, and you can wish me nothing, because I'll make my own life.
Right.
I don't need you to wish anything
Right.
on me. I'm fine. But I also learned that from COVID. If I can be honest with you, that's why I moved here. I moved to get away. I moved because New Jersey was not for freedom. And then the people that supported me in my business and then didn't support my choices in my business, I had to let go of.
Right.
And you walk, and I was full of anger for a very long time. And that was me carrying that anger. And it's the same when you said about gossip in relationship. You either feed into it or you don't
Right.
feed it at all and you walk away. And you can walk away and go, you know what? That's fine. Like, I can be in the same room as anybody and just be like, you do you. Like, it's fine. And I get what Donna said. Like, people really, there was, like, when Donna literally one day just called me and she's like, I'm going to bring you with my friends. Come, I'm going to pick you up too. I'm going to, and she just showed up at my house and literally planted me in with her friends. And we went to Mystic Ranch, another great place, and just introduced me to her friends and just took me in under her. And again, all women supporting women in business. And one of them was talking about like how she just started dating again after how many years. And we're talking about
so many
life.
years now.
Like,
She's a senior dating.
Like,
Nice.
yeah, but we all have different, and it's like amazing. And you hear hope and you hear like challenges. And Donna and I are both, or her son's leaving for college, my daughter's leaving for college, and like we're empty nesters again, right? So you have to rebrand yourself. And what next? So
I
we
think
all
for
grow.
the small town feel as well too. I think that like for me particularly, people are going to talk. People are going to have these communications. People are going to gossip. It's going to happen. It is all really about what you do with it.
Yeah.
It's all about what you do with it. People, I'm sure people talk about me like, who is she to tell me how to dress?
Yeah.
Who is
Miss
she?
TikTok woman.
Yeah, like who
I'm
is
sure
she?
there's-
right. I'm
I
sure
know
there's
many people that are probably so jealous of her, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
good for you, Donna. Keep
right.
going.
Rock
Prove
it.
them wrong.
plenty of people, but you know what? I just have to think like I don't really care. They're either going to talk to somebody who is going to believe what they say, and that
Yep.
they're not my people, maybe.
No, they're
or
not.
they're going to talk to people and say things to people who make their own opinion.
Yes.
And that's it. And you can't control what other people say.
Nope.
You can't control the gossip. It is a small town. Word gets around. It's a small. What's that word gets around in a small town?
You ever
City
heard of
was a danger. Oh, remember Independence Day. Remember that song, Martina McBride?
Oh, that's right. Martina
A long
McBride.
time
Yep,
ago,
yep.
right? It's about us being in a small town, but it gets around, right? We are a small town with a bigger vibe feel. But
is a small
people
town,
still
yeah.
talk. There's a lot of stay-at-home moms that
Yep.
live here. No offense to stay-at-home
Nope.
moms, but I think that because of the cost of living, because of the expense, and because there's just a lot of single like stay-at-home moms that live here, and sometimes there's not a lot to do other than talk, and that's okay.
Volunteer. We have so many good organizations.
That's right. Get involved
Come
in the
on,
school.
people.
Get involved in the
involved.
school.
My one thing about Gossip Small Town, it's happened here where people are like, oh, do you know this and this person? I'm like, don't want to know. Here's why. I formulate my own opinion. I don't care what you think. Because
That's right.
I've met people that everyone's like, this person's great. And I'm like, maybe to you. I don't think so.
Right.
Like, I'm being honest.
Yep.
But one thing, there's a great podcaster, Mel Robbins, and she
Yep.
has this one saying. She goes, let them. Let them talk.
My
let
wife
them
says that.
Let them.
Let
them.
them.
It's just, that's all she says. People talk about you, let them. People don't include you, let them.
Let them.
People, because honestly, at the end of the day, your life is your life. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. And the people that say like you were saying, who does she think she is doing her TikTok show? I thrive on watching her. You have to watch her. Her personality. She's so, hi friends. Like, it's my favorite line. It's my favorite line. And she's always so bubbly. And the one time she fell, she literally sent all of us a text. She's like, watch this. And she fell on my, and it's just,
I felt like
she's
I literally
so genuine.
just tripped and fell.
But-
And I was like, oh my goodness.
But
and
she's
then I was
hysterical. She'll show you like the dirty
Right.
parts of her house not being. She'll be like, "I didn't clean, and look at this, and look at this, and like look at the clothes, and look at and
Authenticity.
But that's the difference between people standing there going like this. Oh my God, look what I did last night. Oh my God, look at me. Donna's like, look at me. I'm always wearing a hat, and I'm doing me, and I'm having fun, and I'm drawing people. That's authentic.
It is. All right, let's jump to the next con.
What? But there's another con?
There's another
I
con.
didn't even know there was another
Let's
con.
make it a positive. Let's go. Let's go. What
There's
is
no Uber here.
Oh, there's no.
Very little Uber
There
here.
is no Uber here.
So there
We've
are
got
places,
all these places to drink.
So people should start more services.
There is one.
There is one.
Rickshaw rides.
Yes, there is Uber within Dripping,
That's right.
Driftwood, Wimberley area,
Okay.
the Hill Country.
There's a couple of them now, and people
Yeah.
that'll drive you to the airport.
There are, but
That
the
I know,
thing
Sally
is,
Rock. I know a
yes,
few.
if you are looking for an Uber to come pick you up and bring you to a restaurant downtown, I mean,
Not
Yeah,
happening.
good luck.
slim chances. You're
Good
going to
luck.
have to drive
Or you're
to
gonna pay.
Backspin.
That's
Leave
right.
your car at Backspin.
Belterra, you can get some Uber services.
Yes, you can get Uber services from Belterra.
Because the address
and
is
then you
Austin.
have to be sober
Sure.
enough to drive from
Yeah, you can't.
Belterra
That's right.
here.
That's
so you
right.
sober up on the car
That's
ride
right.
from downtown to here to Belterra, and then you have to be okay to drive from there to there. Or you have your child drive you
right.
from
There's your Uber.
to Belterra.
Pay your kid $50
Give
bucks.
birth to them.
My child drives me a lot of places.
So the entrepreneur in me is like, let's open
You'll
up
see,
our
we're
own
already
business.
turning it into a positive.
That's right. It's
It's not even a negative.
This is why you need to
anymore.
hang out with these people.
Uber's so much traffic.
All right, so that's a positive. Let's spin
Okay,
this
there
one.
is no Uber.
There's no Uber.
There is no Uber. It's difficult to get to Uber, but that's only if you really want to go into Austin.
In Austin,
I
yeah.
guess.
Okay.
Have a DD. I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. Or your child.
Yeah.
There's somebody else's child.
That's
I
why
feel
we
like
have
you can
kids,
always
but-
figure it out,
Okay.
you know? But it's true. But you know what? Like, I used to Uber, like when I lived in Austin, we would like Uber and we would take those like shuttle buses to the airport.
Mhm.
But now we just leave our car there.
oh,
Yeah.
Uber
I mean,
car.
Yeah, we never Uber to the airport ever.
No.
Ever. We just leave our car there. It's you
But I do see a business
Park-
opportunity
park
for somebody, so
off-site.
go for it.
Perfect.
Go for it.
know. It isn't. But it's not a horrible one. I don't think it's huge.
Turn it into positives. All right, this one's yours.
What is it?
There's not a lot of stuff for teenagers to do.
No, there's not. I feel bad. So coming from New Jersey, Friday nights I would take my daughter to there's a roller skating rink, an ice skating rink, and the kids just hang out for like 3-4 hours. You would drop them off in this town, and the streets would close. Literally, the kids walking up and down the streets. There's restaurants, there's diners in New Jersey everywhere.
Are they called Coney Islands?
No, just diners. So the kids are walking up and down the streets. Adults are walking up and down the streets. Everything's open. There'd be like 100 shops open,
Right.
and you're just eating, hanging out. It almost like when you look at New Orleans and you're like, oh, this is Mardi Gras, but they
It's
have
kids.
a lot of activity. There's nothing there. So the access actually, ironically, we're like, okay, so it's 18 up. We're like, no, it's 16 up. Now we made it 10 and up.
10 and up.
We're
We're
like,
like, throwing those
Give a bunch of
Maybe
10-year-olds
I
access.
did.
Whatever. No, so
Throw
10,
knives.
no, they have to be with their parents for 10 up.
Okay.
16
They can't. They can't Uber
We
here.
got 16 can drive themselves, so as long as an adult signs their waiver, they can go. Because we've had date nights here where people
Oh, that's
bring their
cute.
dates.
I love it. I saw your post. It's so
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an adult date night, but if you're, because I can tell you, we moved here. My son was 17 and my daughter was 14, and they're like, "We're going to hang out at the HEB parking lot." I'm like, "What?"
Whataburger.
And
Everybody
Whataburger.
said Whataburger.
And I'm like, "What?" And she would literally send me pictures in someone's car with like sushi from HEB or Whataburgers, and there'd be like,
But they're
10
happy.
cars.
Were they happy?
They were happy.
They were happy.
They're happy.
You
But
spun. Oh, go ahead.
It's crazy. It's funny.
But you spun this into a positive.
I mean, I grew up in a suburb. I grew up in a small town, not a big town, right outside of Dallas. And I mean, it was probably further to drive to Dallas than it was to drive to Austin from here, right? And truthfully, it grows creativity. Like, it teaches our kids how to figure out things to do. Like,
Okay, what are your alternative teen activities?
Well, there's
There's cow tipping.
cow tipping. Cow tipping's one of them. I mean, you can always go cow tipping. We've got this neighboring cow across the street. You can always go cow tipping. Nobody looks positively on that. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Nobody
We're not
likes it.
promoting it.
We're not promoting
But you could.
cow
It's an
violence
option.
or bovine violence in any way at all. But I'm just saying that's an option. Home toilet papering. Whenever I see a home toilet paper, I do not get mad. I just
giggle.
want you to know. I giggle a
I
little
did it
bit
as a
because
kid.
I thought I did this as a kid, right? Like, I love hanging out in the Whataburger parking lot. When my son said after the game they're going to the Whataburger parking
is
lot
funny.
to hang out, and you drive by and you see 100 cars out in the Whataburger, I love it. I love it. You know what? I feel safer.
Small
It's
town.
innocent.
I'm
It's
safer.
so sweet.
It's so innocent. They're at Whataburger.
They're celebrating.
They're celebrating. We just won or we lost, and they're commiserating
Commiserating.
together. But it's like, right there. They're there.
I do have
You
to
know
say
they're
something
there.
that's very different than New Jersey. So maybe this is because there is not that much to do. I know even my
See,
daughter.
it's a positive again.
It is. They'll hang out with you more, and they'll bring their friends. So I know more of their friends than I did in New
We
Jersey.
just convinced everybody to move to Dripping Springs.
Because I would drop my daughter
Call
off.
me. I'm your realtor. Let's go.
I would drop my kids off, and then they would do their thing, and I'd go pick them up like 4 or 5 hours later. But here, I could tell you, even my daughter will be like, "Hey, we got nothing to do. Can like a few people come over? Blah blah blah." And like they'll either be in the backyard or the thing that I think is amazing, even on a Saturday night, like when we did the poker night, Donna and her son and her husband are here, and they're all playing, and like Cooper and his parents are here, and we have Jaime and Joanne, and they're
the
boys.
baseball kids,
The baseball
are
kids,
here.
and they're hanging out,
and their
like-
parents are
And the
here.
parents are, so they all so they're all baseball parents, so they bring their kids, and the kids are playing poker, and they're all together. Like, it's so sweet. But in New Jersey, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
That the
See,
Kids
here you
are
go.
gone.
See, now
True,
you're like,
true,
it is
true.
a
Okay.
positive.
It is a positive.
You gotta think of things. You
It
know
is
what? I
positive.
asked my son, right? Like, I was like, hey, when you grow up, do you want to live in a small town like Dripping Springs, or do you want to live like in a big city? And he said that he cannot picture himself living in anywhere other than Dripping Springs. Like,
Really?
Wow.
he's like, I just love it. He's like, it feels like I feel like part of the community. I
Oh.
feel like I know people. It feels safe.
He's such a
like,
good kid.
he's such a
Young
good
man.
kid. He's
Young
such a
man.
young man. I mean, and it's like he can't picture himself living anywhere else. Like, it's like when I was a kid, right? I couldn't wait to get out.
Hey, say with
I
me.
couldn't
Yep.
wait to move out. I couldn't wait to get out. I couldn't wait to do something
See
different.
the
We live
world. Do something big.
We live close to Dallas, but I couldn't wait to move to Dallas. I couldn't wait to do those things. But for here, and we lived in a pretty crappy suburb, but it here, I feel like there's so much like that he has to do that I think he imagines
It's
himself
home.
growing his kids
Yeah.
here
Oh, I
and
love
growing
that.
his kids
That's
and
awesome.
like having his kids here and also everybody wants to go to A&M. I just want you to know.
My son's at
It
A&M.
is a
Jacob,
big
is he
town.
really?
My son's at A&M.
My son wants to go to A&M, but he didn't get in. But he's
My
going to go to
daughter's
Blaine,
still waiting.
and then he's going to go to A&M.
Yeah, my
Beautiful.
daughter's still waiting to hear if she's going to A&M, and my son is there.
Yeah.
Construction.
So
The
site.
best
everybody
university
wants to go to
in the
A&M,
world. I'm just saying.
right?
Thank
Even
you.
though we live in Austin,
Well,
and
going
that's
back to your
another thing,
conservative
values.
values.
Is
Yes.
that everybody
Oh,
wants
I
to
love
go to A&M.
I love it.
I love hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got to end on a con that's actually a con. We have to actually get to a con that's a con. So I'm going to throw it out there. This is a
Cost of
little-
living was a con.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, but like a real con. Because you said con.
Traffic.
Well, for some
Traffic
people,
is the
fair.
number one con here.
Well, traffic during pickup and drop off
Yes,
times.
That
Okay,
is
for
a
schools, that's a con.
legitimate thing.
But I'm going to throw it out there.
Okay.
People that are coming into Dripping Springs wanting to change it.
Yes.
I mean, y'all just have converted every con into a positive. people are moving here wanting to change Dripping
Yes,
Springs,
I
wanting
see
to
it
turn it
all
into
the
a,
time.
wanting to turn it into Katy or what's the big Allen or something like a large suburb, Frisco.
Plano.
People are wanting to do that to Dripping Springs.
Yeah. Because I feel I moved here for the right reasons, and that's me saying, not that I know what the right reasons are,
For
but
you,
for
they
me,
were right.
it was for freedom, for small town, for adding to the community by knowing I was going to open businesses
Mine was
here.
school district, and being in a
Right.
small town, I wanted to be in a
But
small
you want to
town.
add to the community. You always want to add. You want to
We were
promote people.
4A when we moved here.
Yeah, it was a smaller school back then.
4A when we moved here, and now we're a 6A.
But I'm talking about the people that are moving here and just going, you know what this place needs, and we need to like lower the speed limit. That's my big thing. When people like, we moved here, I live right off of 290. You bought a house knowing you're on 290, and the people that live in my community wanted to lower the speed limit. I'm like, you moved here.
Yeah.
You can't change the.
That was
the
how it was
rules
when
of
you
the
got here.
land when you come here. Like,
And you
let-
moved here for a reason.
and have respect for the people that do live here. Have respect for the people that are welcoming you into their land, and if they have to sell their land because of the cost of living,
Right.
have
They
some
did
respect for
have
them.
to sell because
Yeah.
of the cost of living.
They
That
weren't
is a-
greedy. They had to sell because you pushed them out. That's
That's
what
right.
I feel like. And the other thing for me, my big pet peeve is, again, and I know it's so minute and so, but I'm obsessed with animals. And like, even when I leave here the other night, like there was a fox in front of me on the road, and I'm like, we're killing their land. Like, it bothers me. Like,
You
I
are?
love
Yeah.
animals. I
Well,
love
and people
animals.
get mad about coyotes in the backyard. They're going to kill the
No.
skunks, and they're you moved there. That was theirs.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like when you come, this is what I tell my kids. When you walk into any room, what could you add to it? Don't take away from it. Be a person of purpose. Add value to the world. Don't take
Arlene is
away
such
from
a
it.
good person.
I was
Like,
about to say, I feel like I've been in a therapy session.
Right?
This is
I've been
amazing.
to
Such a good
It really
Um,
is.
But you want to add value to the community, right?
Mhm.
You want to, like, that's why you think
How
I
can I make
wanted.
it better?
Yeah, you think I wanted to open the bar and put all my heart and soul and money into this, but you're like, I do because I want to do something better, right? The long run. So in the short run, it's going to hurt you financially, emotionally, mentally, but you want to struggle, and the struggle builds success, and you can't take away from people that have been here. Like,
And
you have to love what they've done to this place.
I say it all the time. And look, if you're moving here from out of state, you're leaving for a reason.
Yes.
You left Jersey for a reason. There's no reason to come here and want to change it into what you left. If what
Right,
you left was so amazing, you would have
no
stayed
offense
there.
to Californians.
I
Right?
didn't
no
say
offense
anything.
to Californians, but
That's
I
100%
do.
what I think.
Right? It is
But
the
remember, I'm hardcore.
Californians that
Yeah.
like come and they change, and I hate to say they start voting a different way as well too.
Well,
No, they vote the same.
The
They
school
vote the
started-
same
yeah.
as they did, but you were just start thinking like, okay, you moved here because you liked what we had,
And
right
you didn't
here,
like what you were
and
leaving.
you didn't like what you left, but now you're going to come here and you're going to vote the same way you voted there, and
Thank
it is
you.
eventually
For the love
going
of Pete,
to
thank you.
change this.
And then you're
right?
going to
And
look
so you
for someone
have
else
to
to go.
vote differently. You have to vote differently.
So there was a show on Broadway. So I'm thinking New York, right?
I love
There
this.
was a show on Broadway like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
What?
I love you, you're perfect, now change. And
Oh.
it's about a woman meeting a guy, and she's like, I love you, you're perfect. Here's everything I'm going to change about you. That's not what. And I always think about that in a place like this. Like I said, if you don't like something, if you need a sandwich shop, build it.
Right.
Like, don't tell somebody.
Yeah,
don't
Eric
go on.
and Kristen did.
Yeah, don't go. I love them. Don't go on neighborhood page. Be like, you know what we need? Build it, and then write about it. Don't tell me what you think we need. Come up with the money. Come up with a plan. Talk to people about building it. Finance, encourage. But
I love it.
That's
have
the thing about the
purpose.
con too, is that like, okay, so there's a Facebook page, and this kind of also goes to the con of like a small town. Everybody talks about things, right? Dripping Springs neighbors, right? Like anytime anybody goes on there and talks negatively about a small business, I feel the need to automatically
I-
jump my shit.
Yeah.
over
I'm the
there.
same way.
I feel like I'm like, you know what? I would rather support Turcotte. Even
Yes.
though you didn't like their Philly steak cheese sandwiches,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Don't go there. Why would you come on to this neighborhood forum and then tell all of Dripping Springs that you didn't like? Somebody might like it. Let everybody make their decision.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would you go
Vote
on
with
there?
your feet. You did it once before. You moved here.
Why
You
would you,
voted with your
go
feet.
somewhere
Yes.
and then like not like just like say something negative about a small business? Like, I don't even understand it. It makes
I don't either.
makes
Blood,
it-
sweat, tears that they poured into it.
I will go to bat. I will,
Me
come
too,
and
I'm
take
the
it.
same
I will
way.
go to bat for any small business.
Me too. I'm the same way. And the other part is being here. I can tell you, I've had people walk in and just be like, "Ah, I love it. I love it. I'm going to tell my friends. This is great. I'm so excited." And especially men. Men in like their 40s and 50s. They're like, I've always wanted a bar, just never took the chance. Good for you. And they'll just tell you like how proud they are of you. And I'm like, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
And it's like the greatest feeling because they're like encouraging you. But I do agree with Donna. I've had people tell me like, I take any criticism. She'll know. I'll be like, she came in with her friends. When she introduced me to her friends, if I tell you that day, did one of them not come up to me? She goes, "I love your place. Let me tell you what I don't like about it and how we're going to help you change it." And I was like, "Go on, girl. Like, tell me."
But they
And
will
she's out
still
there.
support you.
And it was like the most loving thing she could do because she's like, "This is what I think should be different. This is how I would do it." And I'm like, "Go on, go on." Like, you are helping me. It's not a negative.
Right.
If you see something that isn't working in your eyes and I think it's working, tell me about it. Because more people might see it from your point of view. Take a
But
step
go
back.
directly to
Yes.
that
Yeah.
person.
Don't talk on Dripping Springs
Don't
neighbors.
post it on Dripping
Yes.
Springs
Hey,
neighbors
if
about
Eric,
how I
if-
didn't like the onions on my sandwich today.
Right, exactly. If I didn't like the way that you made my Philly cheesesteak, I'll go talk to Aaron and
Talk
Kristen.
to
Eric
him,
and Kristen.
yes.
Yeah.
Go talk to him about
By the way,
it.
Turcots is amazing. I love their food.
I love them.
I love turcots.
And they're
I had a
supporting their
sandwich
two
the other
daughters
day,
from
and I
there,
didn't
and-
like it, and I did go talk to them, and they changed the way they made it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Amazing people.
There you
Like, again, you get to meet great people in this town.
And we're back on the positives.
I know.
Well,
But
but that was a huge, and we had it. We had it.
And we even brought it back to the gossipy
That's right.
portion about
That's right.
it, because sometimes the people from outside, they don't know the small town rules.
Yes.
That's
They
right.
don't know the
They're
small
not
town
used to
rules.
it.
They're not used to it, and I
Yeah.
get it. And I'm still welcoming of everybody. I will welcome you into my circle.
She
I
will.
want you to. I want to support you. I want to be friends with you. I will give you a chance, but like, you need to know the rules.
Yep.
You need to know.
You'll learn.
You'll
You'll learn.
learn the rules. You have to support people, and I think that it is about being a part of the community. If you're not here to be a part of the community, don't move here.
Move to Austin.
Move
And
to
I do
Austin,
think-
because Austin is less about being a part of the community.
That's right.
And
Austin's
I
about
do
being in
think
Austin.
that hopefully my husband is right. Within 2 or 3 years, the people that moved here and thought it was going to change into something better, they'll be like, "You know what? This isn't what I thought." Good.
Yep.
You
Bye.
tried.
Yep.
Move on.
I don't love you any less.
Yeah. And you
Good
just
luck.
open up a spot for somebody else.
That's right. Somebody that wants to be here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're wrapping it on that, guys. This is what this channel's all about. I've got to expand this video. I've got to come up with others. Maybe my TikTok influencer will help me come up with some more topics here.
We'll
You
see.
you could be one of her male models when.
Oh,
I am
Lord.
Do you
my
like that? You
male-
like that cliche? We're
My
gonna put
male
you in the family.
line.
Yes, something that will never happen in Dripping Springs, Texas, is me becoming a male model. But guys, again, if you're still with us an hour into this video, subscribe to the channel, because you're not going to get BS here. You're going to get real stuff from people who actually live in the community. And there's no better indicator of what it's like to live somewhere than to talk to locals. So
I agree. I love this. This is so good.
Ladies.
I feel it was so honest and real.
thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, well, you guys, we'll do this again.